crisp fall temperatures and a whiff of smoke in the air. That's apple season, right? Sure, but hot sun and humid summer temperatures are also part of the picture for some Virginia apple growers. You can buy far more apple varieties if you're willing to go right to the orchard in the Old Dominion.
We sell directly to the public, and when they come, they want a variety of, peaches, apples, and they'll have a taste for it all, and so it helps for them to serve, give them something they like to eat, fresh. It's the purpose of having it in the summers, have a fresh apple, versus going to the grocery store and getting last year's apples that are in BNCA storage.
Donald Ayers comes from a long line of orchardists in the mountains of Southwest Virginia. There aren't many of them left. Labor shortages and higher cost of production have led many area growers to leave the business. He's found diversity in crops and seasons to be his key to survival.
Basically, all of this is to extend your cash flow throughout the year. My grandparents and parents had fall apples mostly, some summer apples, but the cash flow was an issue back then as it is now. Used to be your expenses were 15 to 20% of your growing the fruit, and 85% of it was profit. Now it's 90% expensive, 10% profit.
Nelson County is also in Virginia apple country. John Saunders sells most of his crop to grocery chains and has to time his harvest for the best quality fruit.
This is actually an earlier Honeycrisp called Premier Honeycrisp, and this is actually the second picking. We've gone through one time and already picked it one time, picked the tops and the outsides. Now we're going back through and picking it a second time, waiting for those inside apples to color up, and we'll actually come through a third time.
Apples have been a popular fruit with consumers for centuries because they store for longer periods of time than other fruit. Apple growers have been using cold storage warehouses for decades to extend the shelf life of their harvest even further. But even with cold storage, there are a lot of details to worry about.
Well, it depends. It depends on the variety. Like if it's an apple like these galas that we're going to start picking next week, a gala does not bruise. A gala is super hard apple.
Saunders says cold storage units work differently than refrigerators, so consumers should eat store-bought apples right away.
We've got orders to pick galas on Tuesday. We'll ship them to be packed, and they'll be packed, and they could be in the grocery store within 2 days.
One advantage both growers have with summer apples is greater variety.
The first apple we pick is Ginger Gold, and we started picking those about 2 weeks ago. And we picked them, and the next one is the Honeycrisp. This is actually Premier Honeycrisp. We probably raised 25 varieties. Big varieties are galas, and then we still raise Red Delicious and Golden Delicious, but they're not as many anymore because people just don't like Red Delicious anymore. And then later in the season we'll have Granny Smiths, Fuji's. Early Fuji's is our Fuji, and there's an early Fuji. That's the early Fuji's called September Wonder.
Of course, we have the early McIntosh, the Summer Max, Summer Rambo. We grow a Wolf River, which is the Civil War people, the soldiers lived off the Wolf Rivers in the area. And of course, we have a few grafted trees of old varieties of different kinds. We call them Mont Mollies, which is a good sweet apple. We have June apples called Lodi. That's the first thing, about the 20th of June. That's correct. They like them because they make applesauce out of them in June. And then, of course, then you get into the summer apples, July. They have a Summer Rambos, Ginger Golds, Early Max.
Whether they're raised for grocery store shopper or pick your own consumer, Virginia apple growers have geography on their side. Virginia is the 6th largest apple producing state in the nation, thanks to careful plantings and strong market opportunities.
My father always said the three most important things about an orchard are the site, and the site. And it really is. And the older I get, the more I realize it's true. The lower lands, right now we're standing at elevation about 1,100 feet. And the lower lands down at 700 feet, 500 feet, even 400 feet, there's more chance for frost in the springtime. Right here where we're standing is almost a frost-free site. We don't get frost. We don't have to worry about the blooms being killed.
Saunders says the cost of fuel and inflation are affecting his operation, as well as offering new sales opportunities. While his costs are up, he's actually had buyers come back to him for fruit because shipping costs from larger apple areas have skyrocketed.
Right now it's costing $15,000 for a tractor trailer to get from Washington State to New York City. So they put 1,000 bushels on a tractor trail that's $15 a bushel right there off the top. We export apples. Last year we exported apples to Puerto Rico. We've exported to Central America. We've exported to Russia. We can export. A lot of our apples go to Walmart or the Army. We sell a lot to the services. But wherever we can sell them, we sell them to other packers. We sell them to fruit stands.
Wholesale growers like Saunders have to be more selective, selling only the best quality fresh fruit to grocery stores. The rest is sent off to be processed into apple juice or apple cider, especially hard cider. Growers like Ayers sell direct to the consumer, and this year has been good.
Best year we ever had. Apples, peaches, everything has sold excellent. Nothing, no slowdown of anything. Once you get your customer base built up, word of mouth, of course, there's technology today, Facebook or whatever, the word spreads, okay? And so they come back. They come to get it fresh, and they'll get what they need for a couple of weeks, and they'll come back and get the next variety that's getting right.
The number of Virginia apple growers has declined dramatically in the past 50 years. But growers like Ayers and Saunders have adapted to changing markets and found a way to make their orchards profitable. In Carroll County, Virginia, I'm Ricky Gibson reporting.